Welcome to Turf Moor, and well, the pitch has dried out, it must be said, after Monday's fast Boxing Day against Port Vale, and well, one or two team changes and one or two omissions from the Burnley lineup. Jamie Hoyland involved in a car accident over the festive season, so he'll miss this afternoon's game, and we've got an on-loan striker, Andy Saville. We've also got an on-loan full-back in Craig Armstrong, who comes from Nottingham Forest, so it's a wee bit different this afternoon. John Deary returns to the lineup surprisingly, and really we thought he'd gone to Wigan. However, he lines up today, Tony.
Yeah, a lot of surprises, as you just said, in the Burnley lineup. John Deary, we expected to be turning out at Springfield Park for Wigan, back in the side, along with the two on-loan signings. Andy Saville coming from Birmingham, and Craig Armstrong, the left-back, coming in from Nottingham Forest. So Burnley with a very much changed side this afternoon.
That's right, and Southend, well, I think they may have brought the wrong strip, or no strip at all, because they're wearing Burnley's change strip from last year, and looks rather strange with red socks and red shorts. Let's have a look at the Burnley lineup then. Marlon Beresford in goal, 2 Gary Parkinson, Craig Armstrong at 3, Steve Davis 4, partnering Mark Winstanley centre-back, Jerry Harrison at 6, Andy Saville 7, Adrian Edwards 8, 9 is John Gale, 10 Liam Robinson, 11 John Deary, and substitutions, well, Ted McMinn demoted to the bench at 12, Warren Joyce at 14, Wayne Russell, the keeper, at the Burnley bench. Paul Sampson in goal for Southend, Mark Hone at 2, 3 Chris Powell, 4 Phil Goodellette, 5 Andy Edwards, 6 Graham Bressington, former Lincoln player, 7 Julian Hales, 8 Ronnie Whelan, 9 Roger Willis, 10 Andy Ansar, and 11 Andy Thompson. We just think watches. Andy Sussex at 12, Steve Tilson at 14, and Simon Royce is the reserve keeper for Southend. And well, the visitors are defending the Beole end, which is a usual thing for the Clarets. So we play in the second half towards the Endsleigh stand. John Gale quickly into the action there, Andy Edwards. Steve Davis, the Burnley skipper, a good ball in for Saville. First time you get a look at the ball.
Yeah, it looks as though Burnley have reverted back with their injury crisis to a more normal 4-3-3 formation with Robinson, Saville and Gale, the 3 frontmen.
And the shot from Saville just over the top, and a left foot shot from him. I'm seeing much of him of recent, Tony, but obviously he's been around a bit, Saville.
Yeah, he's played for a number of clubs, come from Birmingham of course, began his career with Hull, also played for Walsall, Barnsley, Hartlepool, and of course Birmingham, who just released him here for a month.
There's more clubs than Derek Dugan perhaps, but Paul Sampson with the kick. When Stanley gets the header in, and Davis will have to be quick in on that, and he does well. Gale lays it up, or tried to lay it up for Heath. Wessington gives it a hard kick, but there's an offside against the visitors. That's Robinson on the far side, trying to get Harrison going, but obviously Harrison playing in the injured Adrian Randall's position. Another hamstring for him.
Yeah, bad blow really for Burnley, with Randall, as you say, must have done his hamstring the other day. Alan Harper's still out, and of course that unfortunate injury to Jamie Hoyland, so the midfield decimated. Unfortunate problems for the Burnley boss.
Yes, as Burnley try to get back on the winning trail, 2 defeats and the game postponed, of course. It's put Burnley in the bottom 3 of the Endsleigh Division 1, and it wasn't all that long ago when Burnley were 11 unbeaten and had a mid-table position. How close is this league? Well, it's very close indeed. Saville doing well and finding Gale, but he's penalised for that challenge on Andy Edwards.
I think a bit unfortunate there for the Burnley lad, and the referee deciding that it's a bit of handball, I think, but I think a little bit unlucky there.
And well, it's barely doing a spot of defending at the moment. This is Heath. Saville twists and turns from a distance, looks like the former fullback Paul Wilson. Opportunity to Saville, a left foot shot, and a good save from the keeper Sanson at the near post. Not a bad effort from the new boy.
Yeah, a lovely bit of work by Saville. It looked as though he was going to set Heath through, but held on to it. Deary played a nice ball in for Heath, and then when Saville broke into the area, a good shot that was looking to go into the near post, into the net, but good save by the keeper Sanson.
Ball played in again, the keeper's up and caught well on his 6-yard line. No real problems for him. It's Davis who finds Andy Ansar. The long ball played by... One for Gale to chase, not much pace with that one, a clattering on the head from Gale, and that came on Graham Bressington. I think he felt the weight of that one.
Yeah, John Gale, of course, not afraid to put himself about, and I think Graham Bressington, who's one of the fans' favourites down at Southend, is going to have his work cut out this afternoon to contain the big man.
He has. This is Jerry Harrison back to Parkinson. Robinson with a flick on for Gale, but Bressington quickly in to put the ball out of play. The referee, Mr. R. Fernandez. And here's Steve Davis, with Mark Winstanley about to dispatch. Looking again for Saville. Harrison does well. Ronnie Whelan, named that obviously been with Liverpool for so many years and finds himself at Southend. Very strange that.
Yeah, terrific signing, a free transfer, and Ronnie Whelan, I'm sure he's going to provide invaluable service, even though he may be in the twilight of his career.
Yeah, certainly is a good buy, and well, one wonders if he may have come to Burnley at some stage, but there's nothing rumoured about that at the time, was there?
No, as I was saying, it's a good signing for Southend, and I'm sure he's going to. They've got one or two young lads in the side. I'm sure he's going to be, invaluable service for them, and I'm sure he's going to do a good job down at Roots Hall.
Yeah, it's a throw in on that Southend right-hand side. Andy Thompson takes it. Nearly got it back. Armstrong very quickly in for a long ball for Gale. He's up on his own at the moment, the big man. Can he do a spot of Burt? He's pushed away from the ball by Bressington. A little bit of skill just lacking from John Gale there.
Yeah, the big man, not much pace on the floor, but he did well enough winning Burnley possession because he had nobody up to help him at all on that occasion.
Here's John Deary to Heath. Wayward ball for Winstanley, just keeps it in but gives it to Whelan. And Whelan puts this number 9, Roger Willis. Again, Willis racing down this inside right channel. And Davis is dispossessed by Willis. Rather surprisingly, here's Whelan again. He's got a man unmarked on that far side in Chris Powell. They don't choose to go for him. Gale up again with Bressington, and Gale gets the better this time. He's got Saville to the left of him, and he's got Armstrong overlapping behind. Here's Heath, who can't just keep the ball up. Nearly knocked himself over there, but Burnley starting to move the ball about. That's Gary Parkinson, Robinson, Jerry Harrison now. Saville offside. Good decision by the linesman, very, very tight one though.
Yeah, Burnley at the moment knocking it into John Gale on every occasion, with 10 men sideline on the subs bench today, with no out-and-out wide man, so Gale being used as the target on most of the Burnley attacks.
So Paul Sampson with the goal kick for Southend. Willis goes well. Offside this time against Andy Thompson. Marlon Braceford's good long kick towards the open end. Gale holds it up for Heath. Heath pushes it wide for John Deary. Always dangerous when Deary puts the ball in. And the header from Robinson, and it's wide. A cheer from the long side would suggest that may have been in.
Yeah, not a really good angle from here to see whether that was an open net really for Robinson, but a good build-up. Deary doing well, the goalkeeper stretching, and Robinson just throwing himself at it, but unfortunately just wide of that far post.
Yeah, some good work from the Burnley front line there. John Deary put in a good ball. I mean, and Paul Sanson did well to get his fingertips to that one, right onto Robinson's head, and a bit of a bad angle for the former Bury forward. Here's Craig Armstrong now. Winstanley switching play to Parkinson. Free kick against the Clarets that time, and they're going to be Graham Bressington perhaps to take this free kick for Southend United. A long ball, Steve Davis, and well, over on that far side, they were looking that Steve Davis was holding the Southend player. This is Ansar with a shot, comes off the feet of Mark Winstanley. Heath to Parkinson. Oh, and that was rather fortunate for Gary Parkinson. Got it back but couldn't control it in the end. Andy Hansard on that left-hand side for the visitors then. Whelan. It's a bit of trickery on that far side. Gary Parkinson seemingly having his work cut out. The ball comes across, and the header wide from Roger Willis, but some good wing play on that left-hand side for Southend.
Yeah, good ball into the box, but one or two questions there. Willis, a free header, probably disappointing there that he didn't even manage to hit the target.
Yeah, Marlon Beresford having, well, a bit of a tough time, it must be said, on on Boxing Day, in that awful sort of season for Ducks, when the two long-range efforts from Vale fired way past him.
Yeah, they were cracking goals at Port Vale. Unfortunate for them that they were, you know, disqualified, as it were. This first one especially giving him no chance. I think the second one had a little more to do with the conditions.
Thankfully that game will be played hopefully on a summer evening here at Turf Moor. Burnley in defence just outside the area. Bad ball given away by Steve Davis. Unusual for him again. Chris Powell over on that far side, and the ball played in again. Looking for that man Hansard for Southend United. He's got Craig Armstrong, puts the challenge in. Ball runs free to Jerry Harrison. Gale lays it back for Davis now. Playing down that right as usual for Gary Parkinson. Usually sets a lot of Burnley attacks going, but he struggles to find a man there. Throw in to Southend. Chris Powell doesn't seem he wants to take it, but he has done. And away goes little Andy Thompson on that left side. He's into the area now. Beresford's out, and a good timely challenge by Mark Winstanley to save the day for the Clarets.
Yeah, I think it was the Burnley skipper there made an error of judgment, coming out for the offside, not given, and was Thompson, the number 11, breaking free, but a great last-ditch tackle there, preventing the visitors from taking the lead.
So it will be Julian Hales to take this corner from the Endsleigh stand end. There's some 12 minutes gone here at the turf, and the ball swings across. Bressington gets his head to it, only the top of his head. The ball's free. Winstanley makes rather a mess of clearing it, balloons it high, and again it is Southend who seem to want to come forward at the moment. And Ansar's header, Davis clears to Harrison, wide to Heath. This is Robinson, back to Heath. Deary asking for the ball and switching it well, Heath, to Parkinson now. having a run at the Southend defence and a scoring opportunity. Gale has to push it wide, surely for Saville. Only as far as Deary, looking over to this left-hand side, and he can't get his head to it. That will surely go out for a corner, and that came off the head of Mark Horn. And a corner to the Clarets, Tony.
Yeah, patient build-up there. Deary floating that one in. Deary looking very smart with his new short haircut, but let's hope that Burnley can build something from this.
It will be Incher to take the corner to the near post, and it's flicked on again by the Southend defenders. This is Davis going to get himself in a tight position to the byline. The ball, beautiful ball across, and headed over by Graham Bressington, and that could have been a goal.
Yeah, tremendous ball in by the Burnley skipper. Looked as though he'd been squeezed out into the corner by the defence, but a great ball across, and Bressington, face-saving header, clear.
Corner short to Saville from Heath. Back to Heath now. Can he? Oh, he makes a mess of that one. It was aiming for John Deary. And Thompson on that left-hand side now. And Craig Armstrong has switched over to the right full-back position, covering for Gary Parkinson, who'd gone up for that Burnley attack, but the danger's cleared. Beresford has it. Armstrong again for the Clarets. A bit too long for the Burnley forward line, and John Gale just expresses his views on that one. Davis with his head now. Ansar. Saville gives it back to Armstrong. Up for Gale. John Deary quickly in, gives away a throw in to the visitors. And the referee quite aware of that. Steady start by Burnley, but one real scoring opportunity.
Yeah, obviously finding their feet. One or two of them obviously new players, two coming in on loan. John Deary, of course, hasn't featured for a few weeks, so it is a sort of a misshaped Burnley side in a way, but it seems to be coming together okay at the moment.
So it will be Burnley free kick. Armstrong kicks long on the left-hand side for the Clarets. Up goes Robinson. Seville. The referee... well, the linesman's given that against Andy Seville, a handball, but obviously from our position we couldn't see that, but a lot of the long side did.
Yeah, the Burnley supporters in the long side feeling that Mr Saville had been unjustly done by there, but the linesman signalling that he had handled it.
John Deary gets his head to that, looking for Harrison. Up for Gale. Gale turns, does well, gives it back to Harrison. Oh, and that was another bad ball from Jerry Harrison. Sets Thompson on the run down this right-hand side. Timely challenge again by Craig Armstrong, making his home debut today on loan from Nottingham Forest, of course. Mark Horn with the throw-in for the Clarets. This is Thompson again. Dispossessed by Deary. Mark Winstanley, oh, and gives it straight to Whelan. Edwards puts the ball up long for the visiting side, and Beresford collects with no real problem. Steve Davis. Well, a good ball for Gale again. Now then, Gale, it's running, the ball's running away from him. He needs someone in support. He's got it in Robinson. He does well. Puts the ball across. Southend clear again. That should be Mark Winstanley's, but far too quick. That was Roger Willis pushing it wide. Julian Hales now. Bit of jiggery-pokery on the right-hand side, a powering cross, and Armstrong puts it out, or is it Parkinson who puts it out for a corner?
Yeah, good header from Parkinson. I think he was quite aware that Thompson was lurking on the back post, and just made sure that he was going to get it away into touch.
So that corner on that far side will be taken by fullback Chris Powell. Oh, he's leaving it. It's going to be Ronnie Whelan, in fact, to take this corner for Southend United. No goals as yet. Going up to the 18-minute mark, and the punch was eventually cleared away by Jerry Harrison. Straight back to Ronnie Whelan, who powers the ball in again to the back post, but it's too long, and a goal kick to the Clarets.
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying, Dave, about the rearranged Port Vale game, but this game, it's really strange that in the festive season that Southend have to make the trip from the other end of the country. Certainly a great shame on New Year's Eve that their supporters have had to make this long trip, but about 152 of them, 200 of them have made the long trip, but it seems a crazy setup when really at this time we should be looking at local derby matches.
Yeah, I would think a good one for sort of today or Boxing Day would have been Bolton Wanderers or indeed Stoke City, something like that.
Yeah, we're looking at
break off there, and the keeper out strong for Southend, denying Heath.
Yeah, I thought Heath was in there, the keeper doing well. Just going back to what we were saying, the Bolton match, when we play them again, is right at the end of the season, when it may not mean very much at all. So it's really strange how the fixtures come about. I remember a couple of seasons ago, I think Burnley had to go down to Brighton on Boxing Day. A really strange situation.
That's right. Burnley, of course, have to go to Portsmouth on Tuesday, the day after the bank holiday Monday, and a header from Gale and a goal kick to Southend United. So the computers not being too favourable with the clubs at the moment, as regarding the fixtures at holiday times. Andy Ansar, in fact, has gone off, and Andy Sussex has replaced him. Well, we're busy nattering away about the fixtures and what have you, so already a substitute on for Southend. Andy Sussex, formerly of Leyton Orient, I believe, and Winstanley to Craig Armstrong. Very predominant left foot down that left side for Deary, and quickly in on him was Andy Edwards. Throw into the Clarets. Throw in which Heath will eventually take to Saville. Can't get possession at this present moment in time. Craig Armstrong does well. Finds Davis. Heath. Good running off the ball from Liam Robinson. Now he's asking for the ball is Gale. It's a long high ball. Gale goes up, shoots it right across, and Saville can't get a foot to it. Prods it wide with a ruck of green and black shirts in there.
Yeah, Southend scrambling that one to safety.
Getting a Gale up. John Deary, and it's over the bill then.
But the prelude to that build-up was a terrific run by Liam Robinson, ran right across the back line to keep himself onside. And then as it came in, I think it was Gale that knocked it back, and the defender just squeezing it out before Andy Saville could get in on the end of that one.
Yeah, Burnley, it's looking, we're looking for goals, and they're attacking this Southend defence. No goals as yet. Paul Sansom with the kick then. Deary, good header, but remonstrating with the referee that wasn't a foul. The referee has the last word. Proof is in the pudding. Southend have a free kick. Ronnie Whelan gives it to Edwards. It's the back of the number 4, Phil Gridlett. Heath. Deary now. And that was intercepted well by Thompson. Here's Andy Sussex. Dispossessed by Heath. Harrison. Burnley in all sorts of problems at the moment. Can't get the ball away. Parkinson gets it now. Twists and turns. Gives it back to Davis. Long ball again for Gale, knocks it down. Robinson can't connect. Gale's on the floor, but I think it's a free kick to Southend, and once again the big man involved in tussles and battles.
Yeah, not happy with the ref's decision there, but once again given against the big man. Southend coming here with not the best of away records, although they have won 2, drawn 3, but they have lost 7. and they've let 28 goals in, which is the worst away defensive record in the First Division at present.
Let's hope that that run continues for Southend, and Burnley managed to get a goal or two against this side, but Andy Sussex, rather adventurous shot from way outside the 18-yard box, and handsomely wide from the former Orient striker. Beresford kicks long again. Gale does well with the head. Winstanley doesn't, however. Falls to Davis. Quickly around to Parkinson. Long ball, but Heath hasn't given up the ghost. Sansom comes out to puts it into touch for a Burnley throw-in. Robinson gives it back to Parkinson. Burnley trying to find a way through this Southend defence, and they're giving the ball away too often. It only must be said, Tony, they do give the ball away, Burnley, at the moment.
Yeah, not getting the passing game together, although the Southend defence with Bressington, Marshall in the back four looking quite solid. Burnley not being able to just make the inroads, the final pass all too often breaking down.
Heath goes down, but still the full-back Chris Powell over there dispatches it only as far as Parkinson. He again in turn loses it from Willis, but Burnley pick up the situation again in the visitors' half. Davis, flick on from Robinson, trying to find Saville. And Jerry Harrison having to backpedal as far as Marlon Beresford out of his goal mouth now to Mark Winstanley. Heath. Mark Holm to Ronnie Whelan. Leaving it for Marlon Beresford does the skipper Steve Davis. And Gary Parkinson, who himself 12 months ago was playing reserve team football at Bolton and finds himself in the well, he's been in the limelight since the playoffs, hasn't he, Gary Parkinson, who scored the goal at the Wembley playoff final against Stockport County. Craig Armstrong now. A little too long for John Deary, and puts his hand up for apologies for that.
Yeah, we're just saying about Gary Parkinson, who 1994 his fortunes have definitely changed. Beginning the year playing week in, week out in the Pontins League for Bolton, and of course that bleak scenario changed for him when Burnley clinched that deal in that £90,000 transfer last January. Of course the highlight for him being scoring that winning goal against Stockport.
Yeah, it certainly was, and now things can change around in football. And Heath now with an opportunity to put it over for Saville, hits it right foot and scores a goal on his dome debut. Andy Saville puts Burnley into a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's the stuff that dreams are made of, isn't it? You come in on loan for your first game, and within half an hour of the kick-off, giving Burnley a good lead. Saville finding some space, and a terrific start for the Clarets.
Yeah, a good ball played across, basically from Heath, and Gale put it across for Saville, and well, that's it. They'll be signing this lad on.
Well, a great start. I think the other lad as well at full-back has had a good start as well, Armstrong. Him and Saville, and also John Deary, who's come back into the side, have all been impressive so far.
Yeah, it's going to keep a settled side with injury problems, and Andy Thompson now weaving away in the penalty area, and Roger Willis cannons off Steve Davis, and Southend, when they're always dangerous on the counter-attack. Saville back in defence, completely missing that one. Armstrong. This is John Deary. Play on, says the referee, advantage. 26 minutes. Andy Saville gives Burnley a 1-0 lead. This is Robinson who runs into trouble, trying to go round his man instead of perhaps gets the ball across. A good cross too. Bressington's there again, and well, another throw into the Clarets.
The Burnley fans coming to life at last after this ordinary start, it has to be said, but Saville giving them just the tonic they need, and now Burnley beginning to starting to take the upper hand a little bit.
And Saville winning a corner on the Burnley left-hand side at the be-all end of the ground. Adrian Heath steps up to take, I think it must be the 4th corner for the Clarets in this first half. And it's too near the keeper, and he just takes it from under the 6-yard line. Chris Powell in possession now for the visitors. Thompson for Willis, and Willis was looking to give him the return, but it's a tame effort, just on 20 yards. Roger Willis and Armstrong for the Clarets. Up for Gale. Harrison. Armstrong again looking for John Gale. Gets it, lays it back for Robinson again. First time ball from Robinson, up for Heath, who gets a good header in. It's just wide. Claims for a corner, but I think that was right in a goal kick. Gale always looking dangerous. Heath Robinson combination now. For Parkinson overlapping, a cross comes in, but straight to Ronnie Whelan. He's cool as you like, gives it to Andy Sussex, who clears the danger for the visitors. This is Roger Willis now. Whelan streaking forward. Free kick to the Clarets. Could you see anything there, Tony?
Well, the Southend bench were up in arms there, thinking that they should have had a free kick. And it looked as though the referee was playing advantage, and then he was going to give the free kick to them, and now he's pulled it back and given us the decision instead. Quite strange.
Very strange indeed. Free kick taken by Davis. Long into the afternoon air. Sampson takes it comfortably. Andy Sussex goes way past him and lands on his knees. Harrison gives it back to Ronnie Whelan, and tries to win it back. Does win it back, and he's brought down for his efforts. Free kick to the Clarets then. Robinson, Parkinson, I do beg your pardon, gives it so careless really at times, Burnley, giving the ball away needlessly.
Yeah, as you said, a very careless ball there by Parkinson, just when it looked as though Burnley were going to have a break. Southend that come away with it at the other end.
Here's Ronnie Whelan, who's looking for options in the penalty area. The linesman's flagging on that far side, and finally the referee, Mr. Ferdinand, acknowledges him, gives Burnley a free kick. Seems possibly that John Gale is struggling a bit now, holding his right kneecap, and Andy Jones about to come on.
Yeah, took a knock earlier on. I've noticed that Ted McMinn has been doing a warming up, so the big man has done quite well up to now. Been used as a target with himself and Andy Saville being the front two. I think Liam Robinson must have been given a free roaming role up front, similar to the one that David Ayres has had over the last few weeks, trying to find his width on both flanks.
Ted McMinn signing a few autographs down on the cinder track down there. Obviously must feel a little bit unlucky himself to be left out, because he had a good start against Port Vale, although it was cancelled out with an early goal.
Yeah, he gave Burnley that early lead, I think, on about 9 minutes, and did quite well in that match, so obviously must feel maybe a little bit aggrieved that he's been left out this afternoon.
Really, Graham Bressington nearly made a mess of that one, and he's put his full back under pressure, and consequently the goalkeeper once again puts it into the Bob Lord stand for a Burnley throw-in. They don't like too much action in their penalty area, Southend, and Adrian Heath now. Cross comes in early, and Gale with an effort. Oh, what a goal! John Gale makes it 2-0. Tremendous.
Yeah, a late Christmas present for John Gale and the Burnley fans. Terrific first-time shot, goalkeeper rooted to the spot, and a great 2-0 lead now for the Clarets.
That was a cracker from John Gale, it must be said. Hasn't found the net too often, but it only must be said also that he hasn't played all that often.
Obviously he's used as a target man, but showing that on the floor he can also do the business. A great shot, and I think that's his third goal this season for the Clarets, but I think the other two had come when he'd come on as a substitute.
Steve Davis with a clearance which, well, John Deary gets the ball for the Clarets. This is Heath, can't get the right touch to it. Whelan with the head, Andy Sussex, Thompson to Parkinson for the Clarets. So a 2-0 lead before the break. We couldn't have asked for much more, and it's looking quite comfortable for the Clarets at the moment.
Yeah, great start. Just the sort of thing they need, obviously, with the abandonment of the Port Vale game and then the Derby match being off. Burnley slipping down into the relegation spot, so obviously 3 points was a must this afternoon, really.
Yeah, John Deary then just manages to get a toe to that one. Harrison to Heath. Heath does well. Good ball to Saville, scorer of the first goal for the Clarets on 26 minutes. Saville operating on this left side. Gives it back to Deary, plays a safe ball. Armstrong now. Tries to go around his man, but just manages to keep it from going out of play, but I think it possibly have gone out. Ball back with Armstrong for the Clarets now. Pushes it up for Robinson, who lets it off his toe. Just couldn't keep that one. Davis, good flick on from Saville, and the keeper Sansom out to collect. So it must be the fact that Southend have either forgotten their shirts or have got the wrong strip for the wrong match.
Yeah, they possibly come with the red shirts, and obviously a clash with the Claret of Burnley. But I think Jimmy Mullen will be absolutely delighted with the start that he's made, and with the way that the two new lads have settled into the team.
Yeah, it's always difficult to start with a new club, and particularly when you're on loan and thrown into the cauldron, as it were. John Gale quite happy with that goal, and he's had a good start for the Clarets this afternoon.
Yeah, these two sides haven't really met that much over the years. Played 10 games before this one, both sides winning 4, and the other two being drawn. The last occasion they met was in the 86-87 season, when the Clarets won by 2-1, with Grewcock and James scoring in front of a meagre crowd of 3,900, and it was Burnley's last home game before that epic finale, as it were, against Orient.
Remember the sad old days, that, yeah. Leighton James and Neil Grewcock, good grief. 3,000 attendance, that's amazing to think how things have turned around, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it all really started on that game I just mentioned against Orient, when I think about 17,000 turned up to see that do-or-die affair when Burnley had to win to keep their league status.
And all the national press, well, we predicted that they'd come to watch the Clarets die, but in fact we survived, and the rest is history, isn't it?
Yeah, I think in a way many people have been glad to see Burnley go out of the league that day, especially our near neighbours, but it's obviously great to see how the club has progressed since then.
Yeah, and aiming for higher things in a couple of years' time, no doubt. John Deary now, it takes it rather a hard pass from Davis. This is Craig Armstrong pushing forward at the left-back position, and Deary. Free kick to the Clarets. Foul from Phil Gridlett. Heath. Robinson. Heath to the byline. Free kick to Southend then. Andy Saville and John Gale, the scorers for the Clarets, a 2-0 lead. "38 minutes gone, about 7 minutes to go before the break then, and Sansom kicks this one for the visitors. John Deary battling his way through, and that goes for the Clarets. Gridlett, the man impeded for that. Armstrong over to Parkinson. Robinson up with Edwards. This is Deary ghosting into the penalty area, but the foul on full-back Hone by John Deary. That'll give a free kick again to Southend United. The referee, Mr. Ferdinands, is going to speak to John Deary. Is he? No, he's not.
I don't think there was any bad intent on John Deary's part. A 50-50 ball. Just unfortunate that the Southend lad came out the worst, but obviously doesn't look to be injured too badly there.
So the Southend keeper, Paul Sansom, trying to build the spirits up of this Southend side, trailing by 2-0, and well, it's never easy away from home, as so many managers will say. That was a wee bit unfortunate. Hit the back of Andy Thompson as he went for that ball. Julian Hales floated it over the top, and another one disappears for Southend.
Hales going for the spectacular there with Beresford well off his line. Definitely the possibility of chipping him, but ending up on row G of the cricket field stand, I think.
Yes, as Marlon Beresford kicks again long towards the be-all end. Gale goes up, misses it completely, and that's a booking for John Gale. He's obviously seen something which, well, he's protesting his Gale. You're going to have to be careful here.
Yeah, I think the referee has said that he'd warned him 3 or 4 times before. He's pointed to areas of the pitch that had ticked him off, and obviously Gale not happy about the booking, but he's better off really just leaving it and getting on with the game.
Yeah, he's a look of intent from John Gale at the referee, and we'll have to be careful. Certainly he's had quite a few bookings as the big man, and well, it could be suspension points coming up shortly. Whelan now, Sussex completely losing control of the ball. This is Adrian Heath as far as Armstrong. Saville gives it back. Offside against Liam Robinson. Remarkable likeness of Paul Wilson. I must have said that earlier, but he does, Andy Saville, from look like him.
Yeah, I think the hairstyles in the frame, of course, come into it. Yeah, we thought that Paul Wilson had re-signed before the match, but I don't think he'd have finished that one like Saville did.
No, he wouldn't, and he was obviously quite settled up at York City. Paul Wilson, the man Burnley bought from Halifax last campaign. Beresford lets the ball flick off his head. That was Edwards, the central defender. It's Chris Powell. Jerry Harrison getting his head in the way of that, giving Southend a throw-in. Julian Hales, well, he has the ball. I don't think he's going to take it for 1 minute. Powell obliges. And about 3 minutes before the break, and Burnley getting away with Davis. To John Gale now. Can he? He's got Saville on his left. He's got Heath on his right. He chooses Heath. He's got Davis up in attack. The ball played in, a good one, and Saville crosses it in. Oh, well played from the keeper. Davis, oh, the great save again. Tremendous stuff from both teams.
Yeah, fabulous save by the keeper there. Looked as though Burnley were odds on to score. Saville doing well to knock it back, and as it squirmed out to the keeper's grasp, Davis side-footing it, but a terrific stop by Sansom.
Yes, it was nearly the 3rd goal for the Clarets, and as you say, the Southend keeper denying all 3 Burnley players there with opportunities. Again, the ball played in. Win Stanley up with the attack, and Sansom being kept quite busy.
Yeah, keeping his side in the game there, because I think if they went 3-0 down, then it certainly would be an uphill struggle, but a terrific one-handed save there by the keeper.
As Paul Sansom reflects now, he kicks long towards the Endsleigh stand. John Deary up there. Roger Willis, Stanley in. Whelan only as far as Armstrong. Gale goes up. Andy Seville looks on. Free kick to the Clarets, and Davies found himself in a centre forward position in that great attack by the Burnley front men, Heath, Gale and Davies storming forward. Ball running away from Gary Parkinson, but he does well to retrieve the situation. And Beresford kicks up for Saville, stabs it down only as far as Sussex. Here's Thompson. Robinson trying to get the ball down that left side, wins a throw-in actual fact. Mark Winstanley for John Deary now, who finds his skipper Davis. Deary gets the return. Saville to Harrison, the ball like a hot potato at the moment, straight at Thompson from Heath, that one, and Thompson gets it back again. A good ball in, and out comes Marlon. And Gale having an attempt to get that ball, and he practically got that ball off the Southend defence. Graham Bressington doing through an awful lot of work to win that ball back, and Davis straight at Sussex. So a 2-0 lead at half-time, and I think Burnley will be quite happy with this.
Yeah, just what the doctor ordered as far as Jimmy Mullen's concerned. Sent his lads out with a couple of new faces. John Deary back in the side after a few games out of the team, and a terrific start. 2 goals, none conceded, and hopefully it can be built on in the second half.
Yeah, I'd like to see quite a few more playing towards Burnley's favoured end, the Endsleigh stand, and hopefully, like you say, none conceded as I speak. Does well, does Craig Armstrong on the second attempt. Had a good home debut, the full-back.
Yeah, I'd pick him as Burnley's star of the first half. It's a very accomplished performance.
Mark Winstanley on the wing, put a ball across, just half cleared though by the Southend defence. Harrison now to John Deary, and well, Davis again up in the midfield role, looking for Gale that time. Edwards heads it away, Harrison's in there. Gale now turns, tries to get past 2 Southend defenders. Harrison goes crashing down. The referee wave play on, and Harrison's got a nasty knock on the knee. It's got up again. Up. Harrison, well, doesn't really look okay, but he's up on his feet. Saville. Now this is John Deary. Well, it's puts the ball in again, looking for Heath. Horn with it. Thompson. And half-time whistle goes at the turf. A 2-0 lead, and that'll do at the moment.
Yeah, we're saying at the beginning earlier on that Southend's defence was looking quite accomplished, but since that first goal went in, they've been really all over the place. A lot of the credit to that has got to go down to Burnley with the way they've attacked them, and a very good start for the Burnley lads this afternoon.
So Andy Saville and John Gale give the Clarets a 2-0 lead here at half-time, and well, we'll be back in the second half hopefully for more action. Welcome back to the second half, and we must be said about Arthur Bellamy. We just mentioned him scoring a hat-trick in 71-72 against Orient, and he's been a good servant.
Yeah, and he's done a great job with the pitch today. It's played tremendously well. Obviously that pitch inspection early this morning, then I believe another one around lunchtime. But Arthur and his team deserve a pat on the back for the way that they've got the pitch ready for the game. Yeah,
because on Boxing Day the Turf Moor pitch looked like a swamp, literally, didn't it? In the second half, at any rate.
Yeah, it was obviously that torrential rain, and looked more like a swimming pool in parts, but as I said, great work's been done to get the pitch in a great condition for this afternoon.
Top of the Clarets to kick off this second half, kicking towards the Endsleigh stand end. Robinson and Heath together, and Davis with the usual ball, but not the usual accuracy with that one. Edwards heads away as far as Armstrong. Gale holds the ball up, and down he goes. Thompson in there for Southend. Whelan to Sussex. First half substitute, an early substitute for Ansar, the number 10 for Southend. Chris Powell now. Roger Willis, a ball into no man's land. Southend started off looking quite lively, but they've never really got to grips with this game.
No, they had a good start, as you said, but obviously now they need to get back into it and get an early goal. Just looking back in the records, and Burnley have enjoyed over the years playing on the last day of the year, and very often have scored 5 goals. 1892 was the first time against West Bromwich Albion, and the most recent was in John Bond's days when we beat Scunthorpe here by 5 goals on 31st of December 1983.
He's stealing on the blind side of Powell, and it was a bit unfortunate not to get that ball. It came way past Powell, the fullback. He comes away with the ball, but gives it back to Gary Parkinson now, and this is Saville, taken away from him by Graham Bressington. Clears only again as far as Parkinson. Plays it up for Robinson. Robinson gets past his man, and a challenge by Whelan gives Burnley a throw-in. Saville to Parkinson, first time ball in for him, right to the back post, looking for Gale, but Edwards clears the danger. A flick on again from the Southend midfield, but Davis surging forward. A trip perhaps, and the referee gives it.
Yeah, a good decision that by the ref. At first he allowed the advantage, but as Davis has fallen over, he's brought play back and given the Clarets the free kick.
Heath, as always, wanting to take a quick one, the referee not allowing it. The Southend players not back far enough. Heath does another quick one, and a great punch again. A chance for John Deary on the left foot. A good effort, just wide, or considerably wide, but it looked a good one.
Yeah, Deary hammering it across, and just needed a touch. Either Gale and Robinson just failing to come in on the back post to grab the third goal.
So Burnley carrying on the second half as they did in the first. Paul Sansom, having been kept quite busy in that first period, kept them in the game just before the break with a fingertip save. Graham Bressington, very popular chap here for Southend United. Davis, also a popular fella for Burnley, and Heath finds Parkinson now. Robinson just about kept it away from Julian Hales, but a free kick given. Ronnie Whelan back to Powell, who just keeps it in play. Robinson's challenge. Whelan's cross, and Stanley with his head, powerful header away. Here's John Deary, taken away from him by Hales, and here's Thompson with a chance. Oh, and a good save for Marlon Beresford. Fingertips once again.
Yeah, good save by Beresford. Looked as though the number 11 Thompson was offside, but beating the offside trap, and Beresford saving well.
Yeah, well, it looked like that clean sheet was nearly up for grabs then, as Thompson raced in on the Burnley goalkeeper. Corner comes hurling across. Saville's there to head away. Only as far as Whelan. Whelan again, but he balloons it, scoops it right to the line, and Beresford takes it confidently. Gale just at the back of his heel, and Armstrong on the overlap now for the Clarets. Support with Deary, gives it him. Seville. Heath wide for Parkinson. He's got Harrison to his right, and he's going to, well, eventually to him. Harrison's first time ball cannons off Powell. Ball still in play, however. Heath asking for it. Robinson this time for Heath, and he'll run into the area. Left foot shot perhaps, but gives it straight back to Edwards. Hits the full-back horn. John Gale across. Oh! An own goal. Graham Bressington eventually put that ball in as Gale hammered it across.
Yeah, comedy of errors really in the Southend defence. A chance to get it away initially when Heath burst through, and then as it broke free to Gale, hammering it across the box, and Bressington unfortunately turning it into the net. And you do feel now there's no way back for Southend.
So Graham Bressington, unfortunately for Southend, puts it in the back of his own net. Strong ball in from Gale, good work from Heath. Burnley are 3-0 up. Hales now trying to muster something up for Southend United. He's got Horn, the full-back, in. A cross comes in, and Winstanley puts it out for a Southend corner. Another counter-attack we saw you there from the visitors, but really, like you say, there's no way back for these lads now.
Yeah, obviously they haven't given up the ghost just yet, and if they do get a goal in the next few minutes, then they still have everything to play for. But the back's up, certainly up against the wall, and Burnley at the moment enjoying a good afternoon's work.
As Whelan now to take this corner for the visitors, hammers it hard and low, and Parkinson right onto the Bob Lord stand roof. In fact, it comes off there. Want another ball, I think. Bressington heads into the area. Willis. Bressington's trying to make amends to put a goal in for Southend, but it's well wide. So still the Burnley substitutes warming up on that far side. Do you think there's any possibility of either one coming on?
Well, it's interesting that Jerry Harrison started the second half. Looked to be in a bit of agony at the end of the first period, but looks like Jimmy Mullins giving him at least a few minutes to see whether he can shake that injury off.
Yeah, interested to see what will happen in this second half. As Parkinson picks up play now, straight to Powell. Thompson. Davis and Saville holds the ball up. Just bending out of play for the Birmingham City striker. Armstrong puts the ball out of play. Davis powers the ball out, but only as far as Graham Bressington. Back to his keeper, Paul Sansom. Andy Sussex now. Chris Powell in support. And Liam Robinson with a good strong challenge. And Stanley too strong for Thompson. Only as far as Graham Bressington is. It's like ping pong at the moment. So 5 goals would perhaps be something that Burnley may be looking for this afternoon.
Yeah, they've done that over the years, as we were just saying, on this date, so perhaps a lucky omen for them that they might get 5, but the Burnley boss won't mind how many they get as long as there's 3 points in the bag at the end of 90 minutes.
Yeah, for that trip down to Pompey on Tuesday, and that's hardly a local derby, as we've found out, as we've mentioned before. It's a long way to go when pitches are so dodgy at this time of year.
Yeah, a long trip when hopefully for Burnley, David Ayres will make his reappearance following his long one-match ban that has gone over now 3 games before he can actually get the ban in, so Ayres possibly back in the starting lineup on Tuesday.
Let's hope he can get back alongside the Burnley forwards, and Southend clear the danger, only momentarily. It's a throw-in which Craig Armstrong will take. Robinson. Too strong from Steve Davis, straight to keeper Sansom. Whelan's ball wayward, gives Burnley a throw-in. So the game just died away momentarily. Perhaps Burnley just taking time to reflect substitution time, I think.
Yeah, I think the big fella has picked up that injury in the first half. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to continue in the tin man, Ted McMinn taking his place. As you were saying about the game dying down, it's up to Burnley now just to maintain the pressure, not let Southend have a sniff of anything, and perhaps maybe even increase the goals tally.
Yeah, and I think there's a chance with this, with the wide man coming on, tin man Ted McMinn, and if he can get the balls over, I think again we could see a few more goals.
Yeah, there's plenty of leaks in that Southend defence, which I was surprised about after that first few minutes of the first half when they looked quite composed. So maybe there's some chances yet for the Clarets.
And Andy Thompson doing extremely well for the visitors. Fell down in the box, referee said no penalty, and Burnley, well, Robinson taken away from him. Here's Ted. Good ball for Saville, and cuts the ball back, brings it across. Good Owen Robinson up there, and that was a foul, I think, on Powell. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I think he'll have given a free kick to Southend. That'd have been, Robinson seemed to be climbing over the defender's back, but a great ball over the defence by Ted McMinn to his former Birmingham teammate, of course, Andy Saville, and a terrific cross whipped over, and Robinson unable to get on the end of it.
Yeah, the men played together, obviously, Saville and McMinn, and well, McMinn will be wanting to get back in this side because he did make it clear that he may be on the move at one particular time, as so many other Burnley players have been in that situation.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I think if you'd have asked any of the Burnley fans if they'd have been expected for McMinn and Deary to be featuring at the New Year's Eve, they'd have probably said, you know, they would have been expecting them both to be playing for different clubs, but as it is, still wearing the claret and blue.
Hope they can for the rest of the campaign, as Bressington heads up, Whelan down for Powell. Thompson just managing to let the ball slip under him. Davis now powers it over for McMinn. Now chance, oops, he nearly let it run away, but Ted's going to have a run at the full-back horn. Lays it off beautifully for Armstrong, puts the ball in. Robinson, oh, and Bressington, it went past him as well. He tried to clear the danger. Robinson was nearly in there from a great ball from Armstrong, laid off for him by McMinn.
Glorious move down that left-hand side, McMinn and Armstrong, and as it came across, it looked like Robinson was favourites to grab number 4, but not able to get a full connection, and once again Southend lucky to escape.
So the pressure on the visiting team here. Burnley have a 3-0 lead, and Chris Powell takes some treatment from the Southend trainer.
Well, Burnley hoping to finish the year on a good note. We started it with a 3-1 home win against Blackpool, going back to the 1st of January in that great season when we, of course, the highlight was obviously at Wembley against Stockport. But I think as Burnley look back over the year, they've certainly seen a lot of progress being made, and hopefully in the coming months we can start moving up that First Division table.
Yeah, it would be nice to see him in a mid-table position, and even further than that, because the playoff positions are not all that far away when you consider one team goes up and the 4 behind them are in for the playoffs. And it could be a realistic opportunity for the Clarets, that.
Yeah, I think before today's games, Barnsley were lying in about 6th position, and they haven't drawn very many, but with getting a lot of wins, it certainly makes a big difference and pushes you up that table.
Here's Robinson again into the area, plays it wide for Parkinson. First touch good, and he puts it over long to the back post, and it's out for a corner. Came off the full-back Paul Horn, and Ted will take this corner at the Endsleigh stand end, and right to Deary, unmarked. Ted gets it back from John, plays it into the back post, and up goes Davis. Saville's up there, and so too is a array of green and black half shirts. Thompson, a very tricky contender for the visitors, doing well on either flank. But that ball played in by Ronnie Whelan wasn't so good. Thompson does well again, only to find Davis. Oh, and a one for McMinn. Can he latch on to this one? No, he's been beaten to the ball by the fullback. Deary chests it down. Andy Saville gives it back to Deary. Deary going to let the peg go down the players' tunnel, but like John Deary likes those sort of opportunities.
Yeah, any chance that Deary gets outside the box is always going to have a go, and Southend defence again in a little bit of disarray, and another good break by Burnley, looking for that 4th goal.
So it will be Paul Sansom to take the umpteenth goal kick for Southend United. Their manager Peter Taylor won't be happy with this performance, I'm sure. Parkinson lays it back for Robinson, his cross in, but again the central defender Edwards is there for Southend. This is Steve Davis. Heath stealing in there. Sussex to Powell. Willis finds Sussex. Sussex gives Willis the return. Here's Phil Gridlett over to that far side. Number 7 shot, good save from Beresford. That was Julian Hales trying to pull the arrears back for Southend United, and Beresford equal to the shot from Hales. Saville. Robinson now. Parkinson gives it back to Roger Willis, and well, he's pushing it wide for Hales. Another tricky contender, which I haven't seen much of him, but Davis just gets his toe to that one. Heath. Good play from the veteran to Parkinson. Robinson switching it. Good ball from Liam Robinson to Ted McMinn. Now then, can he get past Edwards? He does, to the byline. Ted McMinn, can he cross over? Nice chip, beautiful. And put over by Powell, and again some good play from Ted McMinn.
Yeah, McMinn's added another dimension to the Burnley side since he's come on, adding a lot of width. But the lad that cleared the ball, Powell, who set up that previous move, the Southend left back, just deserves a mention. He's having quite a good match, and is regarded actually as the best left back outside the Premiership.
Yes, he has certainly played well, and he's been involved right through the game, both in attack and defence. As Ted McMinn will take this corner on the right-hand side for the Clarets to the near post, and flicked away by the number 4. Harrison's shot cannons off Willis. John Deary tries to get the ball going again for Burnley, but Southend come away with Hales. Thompson chasing that, and Davis winning back the challenge. Robinson up for that one, but keeper out Samson. Not Winstanley, back to Marlon Beresford, a chance for him for a feel of the ball. He's been a bit starved of it of late. That's probably the way we like it.
Yeah, fabulous picture of Marlon in today's programme when he was possibly just a few months old. In the days long before he got hold of the goalkeeping gloves.
Roger Willis holds it off for Whelan, pushing it wide for Sussex. Andy Sussex leaning off for Chris Powell now, but can he get to the ball? Parkinson equal to him. But Andy Sussex picks the ball up again for Southend United, their left-hand side. This is Ronnie Whelan. Takes a deflection across from Whelan. Now this is Ted McMinn again, deep in the left wing position. Good ball laid off again for Armstrong, and a chance for him to go forward. Notts Forest on loan, full back to Robinson, a chance for Robinson. Good shot and a good save again from Sansom.
Yeah, good snapshot. Robinson finding himself with the space on the right-hand side of the box, but Sansom, once again, who earns a lot of credit this afternoon for keeping his shot. Well, I won't say that they've still got a chance in the game, but a great save again away to his left.
Yeah, he certainly kept the goals down for Southend United. I think Burnley could have had about 5 or 6, but for him. And once again we see Ted coming over for another corner. Variation, both arms up then. We'll see what that actually means to the back post. Up goes Davis. Header just kept out again by Sansom. Powerful header from Steve Davis. A rising ball which, well, he couldn't get enough leverage on it, I don't think.
Well, the Burnley skipper has had an excellent match up till now. But it's not really surprising, looking at the Southend defence, how they've struggled this afternoon, why they're the league's got the league's worst defensive record away from their home ground.
Yeah, it's perfectly true that, as the ball hammers into the Bob Lord stand by Craig Armstrong. But it's a Burnley free kick. A good ball played by Parkinson for Robinson. Oh, and he's brought down, surely. The referee says no penalty. Well, he seemed to have the ball and then he was sort of flattened as about to make it across with it. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I'd like to see the replay of that again. It just depends whether the defender just got a nick onto the ball as Robinson fell over, but most of the cricket field stand there when supporters went up in arms, so interesting decision by the ref not to give the spot kick.
Yeah, penalties don't come too often, and that looked well from our gantry point here on the long side. It looked like it may have been, but the referee has the last say. This is Ronnie Whelan giving the ball back. Roger Willis screaming for the ball is Powell on this left-hand side. Thompson gives him weaving his way, and Powell has it now. Whelan again, and a shot coming in from the full-back hole, and Thompson tries his luck. Headed off twice by Burnley defenders. Winstanley clears. Robinson gets a clattering from Bressington. Horn to Whelan. This is Chris Powell. Powell going all the way on the left foot to Thompson. Horn looking for the chance to shoot. And Craig Armstrong clears, but a free kick given to Southend, and couldn't really see what that was for. Perhaps I wasn't watching the actual players rather than the ball.
It wasn't really, I wouldn't have thought a free kick. It was a little bit of a harsh decision, but be interested to see if Ronnie Whelan stepping over the ball tries his luck from there. The referee making sure the Burnley wall is back, and I won't be surprised to see the former Liverpool man having a pot at goal here.
Yeah, so Southend, a free kick, dangerous one for the Clarets. And well, it's Whelan, Bressington and Powell who perhaps is going to take this one. Is it going to be Chris Powell as the wall appears? It's going to be Bressington's effort. Oh, and straight at Marlon Beresford. He just fails to hold it off, and the ball goes in the net. Beresford had it, then lost it.
Yeah, terrific shot coming in from Bressington, but disappointment for the Burnley keeper. It was a good save to keep it out, but just lost grasp of it and just poked in the back of the net to give Southend still a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, disappointing that. I was hoping for a clean sheet this afternoon, but obviously it's not to be. Southend pull a goal back, but Burnley have still a lot of this second half to go, and I'm sure they can get some more goals. "25 minutes gone, in fact, in this second half. Burnley lead by 3-1, and oh dear, Thompson. Oh, and he shoots wide, and I'm grateful for that, aren't you?
Well, Thompson hangs his head in shame, really should have buried that one. And from Burnley coasting at 3-0, a minute later it should really have been 3-2 with everything to play for, and the warning signs are there. Southend have looked dangerous during the game every time they've come forward, but up until a couple of moments ago, Burnley have caught with everything that they've thrown at them.
Yeah, it could have been really sad, that one, if Thompson had have put that one in. They really would have been fighting for a draw. Harrison looking for Saville that time, but out of play. Heath up Bressington's head. Paul Gridlett's again doing well for Southend, and he's brought down for his efforts. And one feels Southend are really going to come back into this game.
Yeah, they're looking very threatening at the moment.
Powell's cross, Davis's header. Ted McMinn now in oceans of space. Down that left-hand side goes Ted McMinn, and he's got Armstrong in support. Plays it across for Robinson, and that ball will go out. Bad ball really at the end.
Yeah, waste there. McMinn in oceans of space, and had plenty of time to pick out one of the Claret's shirts, but unfortunate for this time, a wayward cross. So it's scoreline of Burnley 3, Southend United 1, and Paul Sansom with the goal kick then for Southend United. Armstrong. Edwards put that ball out, and Burnley have a throw-in now. Mark Winstanley puts the ball up for Robinson. Robinson gets the ball away for Saville. Over to McMinn. To the byline perhaps. A good cross comes in, but again the keeper out to catch. Willis, Deary, straight to Harrison. Harrison finds Parkinson now. Oh, and given away by Parkinson, a rare mistake from the Burnley fullback. Julian Hales on that far side again. And the ball's still free, really. It's not been picked up, but Southend do pick it up. Powell hoists it over. Oh, and a chance here for Thompson if he can get it under control. Hales shoots, deflection straight at Marlon Beresford at that near post, and the danger signs are certainly there. Yeah, Southend are getting stronger by the minute, looking very dangerous each time they break forward, and as you can hear the Burnley fans trying to get behind their side, and they could just grab another goal to kill it off. But while it's only 3-1, I suppose Southend's still looking at a glimmer of a chance of a point yet.
Yes, as John Deary's effort there is picked up again by Southend, but Robinson, that was a foul, but the referee will play the advantage rather strangely there. Seems that Burnley at this present stage, Tony, have lost their shape.
Yeah, that goal that Southend got has really perked them up, and Burnley, as you say, have just lost the momentum that they had certainly at the start of the second half, when we looked like we were going to score every time we went forward.
That would have been a good ball from Harrison, just bending away from Andy Saville, and that's the sort of thing to put the back four of Southend under pressure. Armstrong for McMinn again. Lays it back for Armstrong. Saville to Deary now. Just taken away at the last minute from John Deary, just going to tee himself up again. Hales for Thompson. Thompson caught in two minds and finds Ronnie Whelan. Straight into Steve Davis. Dribbles the ball out of danger. Brought down eventually by Gridlett. Burnley must press forward now to get their fourth goal, just to take it away from Southend completely. Well, I was going to say with John Deary then, but Southend have it again with Bressington. Flick on from Essex, or is it Sussex? Oh, and Thompson now. Diving challenge by Gary Parkinson. It was the saviour that time.
Yeah, it looked as though it was the case for offside there against Thompson, but the linesman kept his flag down, and I think it was Parkinson with that last-ditch tackle, just keeping the Southend man out from scoring.
Powell with the throw-in. Sussex trying something fancy again and getting away with it each time. Roger Willis's cross. Diving effort from Thompson again, but Ted McMinn's back in defence. And Harrison gets a third bite of the cherry, and it's a bad challenge by Jerry Harrison. And a fight and a scuffle has developed here. There was no need for any of that, but it was a bad initial challenge by Harrison.
Yeah, I think the Burnley man might be having an early bath, whether one of the Southend men for retaliating. I think we're going to see two red cards here, unfortunately.
So let's see if the referee has spotted who is going into the book, or who in fact, like you say, is being given the red card.
Yeah, unfortunate clash there. There hasn't been too much malice at all in the game. It's been played in a good spirit. Harrison makes his way off, and I would expect the Southend man for retaliation is showing the card as well. The number 4. Yeah.
So the two men get the marching orders, and an amazing sequence of Burnley players being sent off. David Ayres, Wayne Dowell, and now Jerry Harrison.
Yeah, a nightmare for the Burnley boss. Burnley fans booing the Southend man as he makes his way into the tunnel. But as you say, the third Burnley man in recent games to be sent off. I think this one possibly more justified than the other two.
Quite correct, yes, I think that is a good statement. And tempers flaring in the heat of the moment by reaction from a lot of the players, both Southend and Burnley, and let's hope the situation cools down now. Both sides down to 10 men.
Yeah, if I was Jimmy Mullen now, I'd just be looking to bring Warren Joyce up into the midfield, and maybe replace Liam Robinson, just to tighten that midfield up with the last few minutes.
Looks like it's going to be right, Tony, because Warren Joyce is about to come on. He's taking off his various skins. I think he's going to be playing in a skin, because I don't think he's got a shirt. He's got a shirt. I can remember the last time we saw Warren Joyce, to be honest.
No, it's quite some time ago, but looks like he's going to get a chance to come on in a few moments.
McMinn dribbling wonders and then giving the ball away. This is Robinson finding Heath. McMinn screaming for the ball on that far side. Robinson, well, I thought he was going to give it him at that occasion, but Davis again looks a little bit strong, but Parkinson to the byline, it's out.
It's a pity that nasty incident took place, because I was just going to mention that super midfield challenge we've had between the two veterans, Ronnie Whelan and Adrian Heath. They've had a great tussle together in midfield, of course. They've been great servants for the game. Whelan, of course, with Liverpool, and of course Heath spending most of his career over at Everton. It's been a great challenge between them both today.
They both played it very clean, very fair, and nice to see the old campaigners doing so well. This is Roger Willis now for Southend, nearly putting Andy Sussex through, but just wide of his left-hand side. This is Gary Parkinson. Graham Bressington just under the television gantry to Ronnie Whelan. Back to Bressington. Willis. John Deary finding Heath now. McMinn taking the ball, and Armstrong will overlap on that left-hand side. Floats it in, but only gives it away as far as Ronnie Whelan. Davis's challenge shrugged off by Willis, and this is Thompson. Throw in then to Southend. When Stanley comes racing away with it, gives it back for Davis. Clears long, only as far as the keeper, in fact, and Graham Bressington just letting it go over his head. Steve Davis now looking for options, looking again for Ted McMinn on that left. I think he's trying to run the full-back dizzy, to be honest, but he hasn't had much success at the moment. Only holding on to the ball at the minute. Played up for Saville, but again Southend come away with the ball. Willis. Long ball for Thompson to chase. Beresford will get that one. He too clears long.
Yeah, Burnley have really got off the boil the last 15-20 minutes, and obviously Southend has sensed that, and it's a good job really that the Clarets have got this 2-goal cushion.
Yeah, Burnley have gone into a shell, it must be said, and Whelan now trying to muster something up for Southend United, their long trip back down south. Armstrong, good ball from Armstrong, this one for Saville. He holds the ball up, oh, he's brought him down. He was going for goal, and I don't know the referee, another sending off for this.
Yeah, number 6 Bressington, good turn him inside out, Saville, and Bressington with the foul I think has been given another red card, unfortunately.
Well, he's taken the letter of the law straight to Southend United, because it was through on goal was Andy Saville, and he did the right thing.
It's a shame really that it has to come to this, because Saville had turned his man inside out, and it just, you know, the lad has just nicked him there, and unfortunately with the law as it stands, it has to be a red card.
Yeah, he's played a good game, Graham Bressington. It is a shame, as you say, but the referee, well, he's the FIFA ruling, and he's taking it to the letter. It's going to be, well, who's it going to be? Steve Davis, perhaps? One wonders. The tap for Heath, left for Davis, a shot hard and low. A great goal, Steve Davis, he's good at them.
Absolutely terrific strike by the Burnley skipper. Obviously a free kick that we've seen here, that's well worked on, and a terrific strike. And the sweet as a nut into the bottom corner to give Burnley now a very comfortable 4-1 lead.
Yes, it looks good on the scoreline. Remember, Southend down to 9 men, Burnley down to 10. But, well, just have much bearing on the game. 4-1, the Clarets lead now. Burnley make it 5 on the last day of 94. Andy Thompson playing it up for Hales, but Craig Armstrong surging forward again and just doing one too many past the old campaigner Whelan, offside against Roger Willis.
Yeah, good breakthrough again by the left back Armstrong, who's had a very polished performance in that left back berth for Burnley, and along with, I would say, Steve Davis have been certainly my man of the match for the Clarets. But a great performance really by all the team, apart from this when they went into the shell a little bit in the second half. They've come back there and grabbed that killer fourth goal.
John Deary now on that left hand side, supporting him is McMinn. Armstrong for Heath. Oh, and his first touch wasn't as good as the one against Chester, but Parkinson will try one and just flies over the top from Gary Parkinson, some 25 yards in fact from the former Middlesbrough fullback. Warren Joyce, of course, still hasn't appeared.
Well, looks as though we're stripping off, ready to come into the fray, but it's worked out okay for Burnley, of course, grabbing that fourth goal. I just thought he might have come on just to hold things up in the middle of the park a little bit with Harrison going off, but he seemed to have coped okay without him.
This is Andy Saville on that right-hand side for the Clarets, as far as Parkinson. Saville gets the return from him, and, well, he's looking to weave his way into outside the area. Parkinson has to distribute the ball eventually, I suppose, and Joyce is still taking clothes on and taking clothes off on that bench. I think he's going to come on. Armstrong plays it in for Heath to McMinn, lying deep at the byline, touchline. Back to Inchie. Oh, and it nearly a wayward ball from Heath, and Deary gives it in back. Burnley holding possession and going backwards way at the minute. Heath. One touch too many and cleared again by the back four. Couple of minutes on the clock and, well, 5 goals, do you think?
Yeah, we hope so. It's been a late Christmas present from the Burnley fans, and just a good, really, return to first team action with those last 2 games being called off, and a very welcome 3 points.
Steve Davis for Robinson, plays it in for Davis. Oh, and Edwards was there just in the nick of time for Southend United. The ball's still in play, in fact. Robinson gives it back to Deary. Heath, well, he's going to give it Ted on the left. Ted's had a bit of dribbling to do this afternoon since he'd come on, but Heath trying one. Whoa! Oh, it's the bar. Robinson. The ball has still not gone in the net. It's unbelievable stuff. Saville puts it across. Powell heads it clear. What on earth's going on here?
A bit of a shambles. I think most of the players on the pitch thought the referee was going to stop play for the centre half, being down injured in the 6-yard box, but a brilliant chip by Heath coming back off the bar, and Robinson really should have finished it off, but a good save again by the keeper.
Yeah, credit to the Southend keeper Sansom, who's really kept Southend at bay, Burnley at bay, I should say. Robinson now straight at the keeper. Linesman's flagging on that far side, but Southend will come away in the dying minutes of the game, trying to pull yet another goal back. They've only managed one. Hales to home, the full-back, partner in crime, Chris Powell, the left full-back. Andy Sussex puts it out of play. Well, it's a minute over, probably a bit of time for the sending off incidents, but that's more or less it, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, a tremendous way for Burnley to finish off the old year. Unfortunate with this sending off, of course, another suspension looming in the near future, though.
Ted McMinn now, can he do something with this? To the byline, cross comes in, a good one, and two. Andy Sussex heads over, puts it out. Is it out? No, it's not out. Andy Saville picks the ball out for Parkinson. In for Heath. To the byline, and another one-handed save. That's the fifth, and it's Liam Robinson who caps the afternoon off for the Clarets.
I think Liam Robinson, a very relieved man. He hasn't had the best of games today for Burnley. Worked hard as always, but unfortunately not been able to get onto the score sheet until this injury time, and Burnley going nap on this New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's a good scoreline to go out the year with. Go out with a bang and come back with a bang at Pompey on Tuesday. So Liam Robinson, as you say, feel as though he'd want to score, and he has. So that's good news for him and good news for the Clarets, as the weary Southend team, who have tried to play football, it must be said. Chris Powell. That's the final whistle. Burnley go out at 94 with a 5-1 win, Tony. Just to sum up.
Yeah, an absolute flourish to go out with the whole year with that 5-1 win. A good performance by the Clarets, just that hiccup in the second half when Southend came back into it. Unfortunate about the sendings off, the more what's been an entertaining game other than that, and a very welcome 3 points and 5 goals for Jimmy Mullen and his men.
So that's it. Happy New Year, and it's Burnley 5, Southend United.